Hello and welcome to another very special episode of the Mastermind, Body, and Spirit Show. Today's guest is my mentor, my long-term friend, the man. He's the first person to come back for a third time on the podcast. And so let's get into his amazing bio. He is the best-selling author of The Law of Attraction, which sold over 1 million books, The Law of Connection. He also had a year-long run hosting his own radio show on Oprah and Friends. His third book, Your Life's Purpose, Uncover What Really Fulfills You, helps the reader and student get more clarity about their life's purpose and, most importantly, what they need to be experiencing to live their life's purpose. He has traveled the world teaching thousands of people with his seminars and is the host of the Hangout with Michael show on YouTube, which has educated millions of people on the law of attraction and personal development. Welcome to the show, my friend, the man, Michael Losier.
Yeah, yo, what's up, dude? How you doing?
What's up? It's good to see you again.
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I got lots of great stuff happening. You know, my book, Your Life Purpose, came out a couple of weeks ago, and I've been doing Facebook Lives and collecting people's questions. And I can appreciate a singer coming out with a new book, right? You know, my first book sold 2.2 million copies in 37 languages, and the book after that only sold half of that. And then there's the third. It's like the third album, so you kind of wait. But what I think is important about my book is that I've been doing seminars on it for 4 years. So I've been walking around the room, watching people get insights and overhear conversations with couples, thinking, oh, okay, so that's important. But then to make this process into a book, that's where, that's why it's called a self-help book, so you can do it yourself. And as you know, in writing a book, you just can't tell about stuff. You got to tell it and teach it and so on and so on. So I've been hosting Facebook Lives, hearing people's feedbacks, what they're loving about it, and most importantly, that they are uncovered what their fulfillment needs are, which is the purpose of the book.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, you've been working on this book for quite a while. And what I loved originally, how we met, is your first book, The Law of Attraction. I didn't realize you sold over 2 million. So way to go. Cool. I shafted you 1 million books. So way to go. That's amazing. But what I loved about it is whenever I read a book on self-development, personal development, sports, if you're going to teach me something, whether it's skateboarding, sports, learning how to cook, how to meditate, by the end of that book, I better know how to meditate or do that thing. And for yours, when I read The Law of Attraction, and I think how we met, I watched your 3-hour seminar that I wasn't going to go to. I was like, oh no, I know about the Law of Attraction. I don't need this. And after 3 hours, I was like,
so others know, I'm at a seminar at a room, and Matt comes in with a skateboard full of attitude and sits at the back of the room like, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, let's just say at the end of the seminar, he was panting like a puppy dog trying to get my attention. Remember that, Matt?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was 3 hours later, and a whole bunch of notes, and it was just such practical, useful information. And that's what I was really impressed with. Then I picked up the book, and it was, when you're done reading it and you have the 3-hour seminar, you can actually apply the law of attraction right away, and you understand it to a level where you would realize, this is why I'm attracting the things that I don't want. This is how I attract the things that I do want. So I'm assuming, and I've read the first draft of your book, and I know that you've updated it since then. It was really practical as well for discovering the life's purpose, what fulfillment is, and labeling those. So maybe you want to talk a little bit on that.
Well, I just want to go back to my other 2 books again for a moment, and my seminar stuff. I'd be remiss if I didn't let you know deliberately that I made sure that when I was writing my book, that I wrote it to satisfy all the learning styles. So I satisfied the visual learner, the auditory learner, the kinesthetic learner, and the thinker. So when you say I like the style of my book, it meant that you liked the way I wrote it to your auditory style and so on. So that's important about my book. All of my books were seminars first. I've been doing seminars on this book for 6 years in Singapore, in Malaysia, and Hong Kong. I've been hundreds and hundreds of people. I was walking around the room. I was noticing where people were confused. And I didn't have anything here about relationships until a couple came up and said I saved their marriage, because I said, what? And then boom, then I put a chapter in here. Like, I've been working on this for 5 years. And at first I thought it was an intuitive thing. right? It said, oh, I can sit with people and I can help them uncover what they need to be fulfilled, based on what I understood about NLP. So I thought it was something that I did intuitively, but it wasn't at all. It's a process. Matter of fact, it's a 5-step process. Hey, let's do a quick little shout out to our friend Jason Stiles. And he's good to see you, bro. I think he's talking about you. And
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Chloe's saying that's an awesome topic of conversation, and especially on the day of the summer solstice. So shout out to Chloe.
Mhm. Yeah, nice. See, this is great when I have you on. It's an easy co-host.
Oh
You're
no,
like I said, you're
oh yeah, I'm so
uh,
co-hosting right now. Yeah.
yeah. You got 100 episodes on me. I'm still learning. You've been helping me for a long time. You're one of the inspirations to starting the podcast. So I have a lot to thank.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from, and maybe do a shout out to a previous podcast that you heard of Matt's that you'd like, that you could recommend to somebody else. But today we are here talking about your life's purpose. So it's pretty ballsy of me to think that I know what people's life purpose is. Do you think so, Matt? Do you think I have enough nerve to suggest that I know what people's life purpose is? Well, I'm going to tell you what I think your life purpose is. It's pretty simple. You see, the purpose in your life is to experience joy. And then some people say, well, no, the purpose of my life is to be a singer or a dancer or a mother or a healer or a podcast host or a speaker or an author. I said, no, that's not the purpose. That was your strategy to get your needs met. And then when you get your needs met, you're in joy. And then when you're not getting your needs met, what happens? Well, then you're bored. So when people say, oh, they look around, oh, I'm so bored, what they really mean is, I'm not getting my needs met. So here's the paradigm shift. The paradigm shift meaning, I just want you to change your mind about what you think the purpose on your life is. And the paradigm shift is, the purpose of your life is to experience joy. Let's just say you were throwing darts at the target. That is the very middle. The very middle of the target is joy. So if that's the purpose, then the real question is, what do I need to be doing to get joy? So now we're in the doingness. What do I need to be doing? We need to come up with a strategy. You need to be doing things that make you happy. Well, I don't know what makes me happy. Oh, in comes these. Fulfillment needs. And there's 30 of them. I coined the term fulfillment needs. These are just needs. I'll give you a couple of examples. The feeling of accomplishment or achievement or fun or freedom or autonomy or attention. There's 30 of them. So I'm suggesting that when you uncover, there's 30 of them, when you can surface the top 4 for you, and then when you know what your fulfillment needs are, then you can make strategies, and then you can get them full more deliberately. Imagine knowing that. So I'm not trying to tell people they need to be a dentist or a doctor or a nurse or a mother. I don't care what the strategy is. What I want to help you with is you need to say this one, this one, this one, and this one. Boy, when I have a job, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a career, or a volunteer, when I get those 4 met, I am in. But you know what, Matt? Most people don't know what it means to be fulfilled, but they sure know what it means to be unfulfilled. Matter of fact, people know about unfulfillment, whether it's in their relationships or whether it's in their job or whether it's in themselves. They know to be unfulfilled. So another paradigm shift, you know what? It's okay to be selfish, because selfish is self-care. You need to care about yourself so much so that you'll only do things that bring you joy. So Matt, there's a feature on the bottom of the screen where we could go side by side in the recording. Did you know that?
I do know that. I was actually giving you as you were going there, I was giving you the big screen.
Well, then that makes me the
Hooking
boss.
it up.
Makes me the boss if you do it that way. Hey, Chloe's from San Diego. She's saying hello. Again, if you're watching live and there's people watching live, let us know if you've heard something already today that was either stimulating to you or got you excited or even got you thinking about it. And let us know that you're watching from. So we're just going to do a quick little recap. I'd like to think that I know the purpose in everybody's life is to experience joy, period. If that is the case, then you need to know, what do I need to be doing? What things do I need to be doing to get me joy? Well, the things that you need to be doing are things that invoke this. Now, I've been friends with Matt a long time. I don't need to get him to figure this out because I've got him figured out. And when I want to, if I want to get cooperation with Matt, I make sure that I'm tugging on his fulfillment needs without him knowing about it. But before we talk about tugging on Matt's fulfillment needs, I want everyone to check this out. This is your fulfillment meter. So my question to you is, how are you plugging yours? What are you plugging in your fulfillment meter to keep it high? Because it doesn't stay there. The meter expires when you get bored and lonely and things change. What are you doing to go, oh, there's more, there? Well, the things that you need to be doing is satisfying those. So another quick little recap. I'm all about recap. Matter of fact, Matt, if I asked you 100 questions right now, you'd know them all at the top of your head because I've recapped so much. Say yes if that might be true.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. In the book, it's a 5-step process. Step number 1 is look at the list. And the step number 1, now, you know what? If you're watching live and you'd like a free copy of this list, just say yes. Just type yes, let me know. So the very first exercise is you print off this list, and then you cross off the ones that you know aren't you. It's like, oh, that's not me. No, this is not me. Because we have to take these 30 needs and go through the processes in the book. So it would make more sense to lighten the load, right?
Is this downloadable on your website too? So for the podcast listeners as well,
yes,
for after the live show?
Yeah,
okay, perfect. Because they're definitely going to want that.
Yeah. Hey, your buddy Ryan Farrell saying, "What's up, Matt? Thanks for doing these. You're the man." Hello,
Right
Ryan.
on.
I'm here too. Okay, Ryan, I am here. I
can't multitask the same way. I focus on the guests is one thing at a time.
Oh no, listen.
But I appreciate you multitasking.
Listen, if I had a cappuccino attachment on my phone right now, I'd be making one of those. We have Chloe saying hello. Well, Chloe saying yes to the list. Andrew Elger saying yes to the list. Jason said, I'd love the list. Andrew saying, please. Well, thank you, Andrew. We finally got a please. And Jason said, Sedona. So we're going to recap again. There's 30 fulfillment needs. The purpose of this book is to get you to surface the top 4. And when you know the top 4, whoo, I'm scared of you. Because then you only do things that make you feel good. You become so selfish, you only do things that make you feel good. You only look after yourself. And in doing so, then you can serve and love other people. So the address to download this is hangoutwithmichael.com/life purpose. And you can download a copy of this. And on the bottom is the instructions for step 1. The goal is it's like Survivor. It's survivus of the fulfillist. Because at the end of the book, you'll have creeped up and shown you the top 4 if you don't already know already. So here's exercise number 1. Go through it and say, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. And now you're going to lessen the load when you go to step exercise number 2, number 3, and so on. So Matt, I'm going to tell you what my 4 are, and so people can relate to what. So now that I know what the target is joy, and I need to be creating. These are rings, and the outside ring is I need to be creating strategies to bring me to the target, and the strategies need to make sure I'm getting my needs met. So my top 4 needs, fulfillment needs are, in other words, when these are present. Like right now, when?
Now.
Right now, they're present. They're so present right now, they're just flamed up. My fulfillment needs are flamed up. So number 1, attention. Now, attention might sound kind of yucky to people, so I've redefined it, Michael Losier style. It's not attention, it's attentiveness. Say yes if you're being attentive right now.
Yes.
Yeah, is Jason Stiles being attentive right now? Is Andrew Elger? Huh? Is Chloe? Is Christine? Yeah, they are. So everyone is being attentive. Boy.
Jason's building the pyramid at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Now, so my first fulfillment need is attention or attentiveness. Now, here's a little test. Did I get this need met destructively when I was young? Oh, you bet I did. I was a show-off at school. I was a troublemaker on the school bus. I was a speaker dancer at the night at the bars. Like I was a show-off. But now as an adult, I'm getting those needs met in a constructive way. Number 1 need, attention. Number 2 is influencing people in a positive way. Say yes if I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Stiles, say yes if I'm doing that. Chloe, say yes if I'm doing that. Anybody? Giovanni just joined us. No, we're not crazy. He's calling you a Jedi Knight. Hello, I'm here too. So attention, um, um, influence in a positive way. And my third one, we're going to redefine the word intimacy. Right now, you and I are having intimacy, and it's made up of 3 words: into, me, see. Andrew Elgar, would you write that down? 3 words: into hyphen me hyphen SEE. Say it fast, Matt, when you know it.
Intimacy.
Intimacy. So you know what we're not talking about? Cars, the sports, and the weather. We're talking about into me see subjects, which is right up our alley. Probably the viewers like that too. So what's our goal? What's our dream? What's our problems? What's our blocks? What's our love? What's our challenges? What's our manifestations? Nothing in there about a new car, the sports and weather, right? Intimacy. So those 3 are met here. And the last one, Matt, it's your favorite one. And it's the F word. Say it when you know it.
Freedom.
Freedom. So mine, attention, influencing people in a positive way, intimacy, and freedom. I've turned down offers to go to China, that's a 16-hour flight, to talk to 12 people for 30 minutes. And the money was super crazy. So that's 4 hours, that's 4 days of travel from Gilligan's Island. I live on a little island, a little bit bigger than Gilligan's Island. It takes a lot of time to get on and off this. So it's 4 days. And I would have had a translator. I would have got none of my needs met, except for some good dim sum at the airport. But other than that, I would have got no needs met. But now, let's see where I get my needs met. I do Facebook Live twice a week. I do one on Friday at 9 o'clock called Hang Out with Michael. I do one on Saturday called the Emotion Code Bros, where I'm actually healing people's chronic pain during a live Facebook show. Hello, could I influence people any stronger than that? And my very first job, and then we're going to wind this part up. My very first job, I don't remember, my sister reminded me, I was young. I was probably just 15 or 16. And my sister said that I called her at noon crying. And she said, would you come pick me up? But don't tell mom and dad. So she picked me up and she took me to her office job. And I remember sitting in the chair waiting for her to be finished work. So remembering where my fulfillment needs were, where I was working? I was mowing lawns at a graveyard. I was getting nothing met there. No attention, no influence, no community, no connection, no intimacy, no freedom. It's the worst job ever. And then I worked in a restaurant and I loved it. I got all my needs met there. So I would suggest that, Matt, and they're both on the list, that 2 of your top needs are adventure and freedom.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just, your Burning Man, all the things you do, it's all adventure, it's all freedom. And the test to that would be, can you remember a job that you had where those 2 things were missing? Where you didn't have it? Yeah, I think you did when you were in Calgary there. There was no adventure in that. The money was good, right? You were making boss money, but there was no adventure. There was no freedom. You had to be in that place every day, right? So sometimes money becomes the top. It's not a fulfillment need, though, but it becomes more important than us getting fulfilled. So money is not a fulfillment need, but it takes money to be fulfilled.
Okay. All right. So that was a lot right there. Okay. So once we uncover the fulfillment needs, and I remember going through that process a long time ago, which is nice.
Yeah.
And then what is your step 2? Then you're looking at how do we
okay. Well, first step 1 is reduce the list. And then I walk you through 4 processes to make it smaller, 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 smaller. And then near the end, you might have maybe 5 or 6 or 7. You won't get it to 4. And then I would take them and put them on yellow stickies. Let's just say you came down to 7. Put them all on 7. Put them on your fridge or on your bulletin board. And here's how you test them. I promise you, once you know what yours are, everything changes, because then you start making much different decisions. When we say, wow, I'm feeling freaking awesome today. Look at the list and say, well, what's present right now? What is this present? Yeah. And if they're on stickies, take it off and put it at the top. Say, what else is present? Oh, look at that. Attention needs is present right now. And then when you're feeling ticked off and whatever, say, oh, what's missing? You say, look, they're all missing. I just want you to see the direct relationship between being unhappy and bored when
Mm-hmm.
these needs are missing, and then when you're feeling good, they're present. So eventually you'll take the 7 and you'll move the stickies up and down till you find the right sort order. So I've done mine for years, so I know the very top one is attention. Now, I've just slipped in a recent one, number 5. I don't want to replace my top 4 because I'm loyal to them. But my 5th new one is uniqueness. Right, doing the emotion code, doing a seminar, helping people relieve their chronic pain, long distance over a Skype call. Do you think that's unique enough? But then I say, well, maybe I get my attention needs met because it's so unique. And I thought, you know what? So I have a 5th one. You're allowed to have a 5th one. So my 5th one is being unique.
All right. Holy smokes. Okay, so you go through the process and you get very, very clear on what your needs are.
That's right. Not the kind of job you should be doing. Like, I'm not saying you should be a plumber or a nurse or a teacher or a mother. I'm saying you should attract a job or whatever that is getting these fulfilled. And don't take it if it's not.
Right. And so once you have this clarity, you put them on sticky notes or whatever. And this is what the book, I find that, a lot of the work that I do and when I'm coaching or something like that, or even talking to people at festivals or traveling, they actually haven't even looked at what makes them happy, what fulfills them, where they want to go. If we're going to do, some sort of life coaching or something, they haven't asked those questions. So I think that from reading the book, the first draft of it, and where you are now, it's getting laser focused on what really fulfills you so you can be aware of it and then making new decisions based on that information. Do you give them, once they have it, are there any tools and processes like in the Law of Attraction to create more of them, or do you just refer to them the Law of Attraction book where we got the 3-step process of identify your desire, give it attention, energy, and focus, and allow it? Yeah.
You think I want to pull a Martha Stewart and sell one product when I'm trying to sell another one?
Well, I don't know if you put some of those tactics in there.
Tactics.
I like tactics. Okay. You usually give tactics.
Okay. There's a section here about knowing your top 4, and after it says using the law of attraction to satisfy your fulfillment needs. So remember in my other book, the NLP book, I talk about the 4 learning styles. I showed you the picture a few minutes ago. So I've written script that would satisfy each of the styles, because not everybody likes the word look and see or touch or feel or think or thought or sounds like. So I've got examples of how to use a law of attraction desire statement to bring more of your new desire based on your fulfillment needs. So I've helped people out with that. I didn't rewrite the law of attraction book within it. I skipped all the background and said, say this. No, I'm not going to tell you how I got it. Just say this, and this will invoke the law of attraction to attract your resources or whatever you need to do, know, or have.
Awesome.
And hey, so if you're watching live, give us a heart, give us a thumbs up, say who you're watching, and what did you hear so far that was your aha moment or something that you see yourself doing tomorrow? What made sense? What sounded good today? Let us know here on the Matt Belair Show. Go ahead, Matt. You're next.
Oh my God. So in doing the podcast, or not podcast, sorry, all the seminars and things like that, do people have, is there like a big aha that they have, like going through this process, like, oh, I never really thought of that? Or is it just going through, like, what are their biggest takeaways from going through this process? Because I'm assuming that most of them have never done anything like this.
Well, one of the things that is common is that people's discomfort when they find out what their top one is. It's because it's usually the one they got in trouble for. Right now, my friend Janet, shout out if she's watching. I remember her sitting in my dining room table 6 years ago, and I had done a process like this, her just intuitively, and she said, that's your 3rd book. And I thought, I don't think so. And we did the table of, me, you've been in my house, I get flip charts everywhere. Right now, there are flip charts everywhere. 6 years ago, in front of her, I wrote the table of contents from my book, and I didn't change one sentence 6 years ago. So I knew the order. And then what I did after that, I did seminars with, I'm a good seminar program designer. This is a seminar. This is a law of attraction 3-day seminar. This is an NLP seminar. There's seminar. People say, oh, you're such a good writer. I'm not a writer. I'm a seminar leader that wrote 3 good books. Matt, the number's 10. That's the number of books I've read in 32 years. The number is 0. Oh no, the number isn't 0. The number is 1. The number of books I have in my house that aren't mine.
Yeah.
So,
Do you want to talk about that?
oh my God, do I want to talk about this? Are you crazy? Let me talk about this. It's called The Emotion Code. And The Emotion Code is a book by Dr. Bradley Nelson, changed my life. I lost 40 pounds in 1 year. I'm 55 years old. I tried everything. I lost 40 pounds in 1 year because I learned about trapped emotions. Trapped emotions are negative emotions that get trapped when you have a negative event. And then those negative trapped emotions get stuck within you, and then they frig up your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. You say to yourself, boy, I'd sure like to have a lot of money. And your subconscious mind, who remembers everything, says, too bad, because when you were 15, remember you lost your lunch money or whatever? So your subconscious mind reminds everything. And there's 30 negative trapped emotion possibilities. The chart is showing 30 negative. So when you have an experience, and say, for example, it's around money, and you lost money and you were embarrassed or whatever that feeling might be, there's 6, choose one. There's 60 of them, choose one of them. And then that trapped emotion gets lodged. And then it's like an orange cone. You say, I'm going to attract more money. Your subconscious mind says, well, there's an orange cone in the way of that highway. And then you're thinking, boy, I wish I knew what it was. Your subconscious mind knows what it is, because your subconscious mind knows everything. And the good news is we can ask your subconscious mind questions by making an agreement to say, subconscious mind, I'm going to ask you questions, but you can only ask yes or no questions. So subconscious mind, are you telling me if I asked you which one of these, you would tell me which one it was? Yes. And then could I delete it? Yes. So imagine there's an orange traffic cone that's stopping you from attracting what you want. You could use your subconscious mind to find out which one it is, and remove it with, where's it at? Remove it with the magnet. Oh, I'm not even done yet. It gets more crazy. So here's what happens.
My favorite. Keep going.
So I'm the practitioner. So I become, well, let's do a little mini session here. Just hang on, because I want people to really, really get this. So here's the keys to the emotion code process. Number 1, there's an emotion code chart. It shows the 60 trapped emotions that are possible. Every, and I mean every, EVERY, every negative emotion that we experienced, part of it stays behind. And that's why it's called a trapped emotion. Even if you think you got ticked off and done this and done that and done this, boy, it's like, no. Even if you said, oh, I relieved myself of that. I don't do that anymore. Oh, I got over that. Guess what? You didn't. They're still part of a negative emotion trapped behind. So number 1, there's an emotion code chart. The next one, proxy. Just like if I was going to vote on your behalf, Matt, I will be your proxy. In other words, with your permission, Matt will give me permission. I will become his proxy. I'll ask his subconscious mind questions about the emotion code chart. And then when I find the emotion, I'll use a magnet. So the muscle testing is like this. I'm going to use muscle testing. Right now, I've made an agreement to say, when my fingers stay locked, so am I Michael Losier? Yes. Am I Matt? See how it broke through? It said, no, that's a no, that's a yes. So I can ask myself lots of questions as long as they're yes or no. So I could say, okay, subconscious mind, do I have any trapped emotions that are stopping me from doing this? And say, oh yeah, you do. It would tell me where they are, and then I remove it with a magnet. Now, to do it on somebody's behalf, I become your proxy. So you give me your permission. I can ask your subconscious mind questions. It will tell me what it is. I can find it and then get rid of it. I want you to be thinking, Matt, if what blocks you might have. Tell me about something that you are expecting that hasn't happened yet, or maybe a specific food that you want to get rid of, or maybe a specific food that you want to eat more of. Anything. I'm going to do a shout out. We have Andrew Elgar is watching from Pearson Airport in Toronto. You are so lucky to be watching us at an airport. Be selfish in order to serve others. Hey, I like Andrew. Thanks for the quote. And Andrew said, I've seen your seminar books at my local bookstore in Vancouver. Stoked to pick up a copy. If I leave this webinar before it's over, it's because I had to board my flight. We like that. He's so Canadian, right? He's so polite. We love
That's
that.
awesome.
Hey,
What's up,
Andrew.
Andrew?
Yeah, shout out to Andrew. So Andrew's at the airport, and he's probably going to enjoy a direct flight to Vancouver, which is the best. So why don't we
Okay.
do a little demo?
Yeah. So what's interesting, I'd actually love to have that guy on the podcast as well. I haven't read the book, but there's a lot of evidence towards remote healing. There's belief reprogramming, repatterning that uses muscle testing as well,
Yeah.
and like energy healing and things like that. And then when we get into the magnets, that's when we get into Dan Winter, Jason Stiles, who's watching. He's like the leader. I got to get his podcast up. We filmed it, and it's going to take me forever to edit, but I got to do that. But that's really, it's basically comes to energy. So when in this book, does it talk about the brainwaves, beta, alpha, theta, delta? Because I've heard some of this has to taking a memory and moving it into a gamma wave. Does he talk about that at all?
No, he only talks about negative trapped emotions, and they're the cause of everything that's an imbalance. Do you have chronic pain unexplained? Do you have swollen? Do you have a throbbing neck or a sore arm that can't move? Do you have hip problems? Do you have night sweats? Do you have ringing in the ears? Anything that's not normal in your body is caused by a stored negative trapped emotion. Saturday, well, right now I have a weight loss class going. I'm meeting 10 people a day, and you should hear the stories, what's happening. Saturday, I worked with a woman during my live, my friend John and I, it's called the Emotion Code Bros Show, Saturday, 9 o'clock on my Facebook page. We had two women. They didn't even join the call. They were just chatting, just like our friend Andrew and Chloe are. One woman said, my name's Barb. I'm addicted to toast and jam. And we said, what's the severity? 1 to 10. She said a 10. I did an emotion code session. I released probably 7 of these. She hasn't had toast and jam since 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. And she had toast and jam 5-6 times a day.
Well, and then the other thing that makes me think of, you're aware of EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. I had Brad Yates on, I don't know what episode it was, maybe 30 something, but he's got millions of views on that. And it's a similar process, but this is just a slightly different using the proxy.
Well, I think in EFT, because you know how in EFT you find the points, with this process, you actually delete the negative vibration. Now, I used to use EFT as well, and now I'm doing this because I got really good at it. But so here's what I understand what the difference is. And the difference would be through my eyes because I've done and learned both. EFT is good when you know the emotion. Even though I'm feeling really ticked off right now, or even though I'm feeling overweight, or so when you know what it is, right? With the emotion code, you don't know what it is. You let your subconscious mind figure it out. You say, okay, subconscious mind, do I have any trapped emotions that's stopping me from drinking 2 liters of water a day? And your subconscious mind says, oh yeah, there's 8 reasons. Find them. And then we go through the chart. And when you find them, delete them. And then when I delete them, it's like removing the orange cone. And now I'm drinking 2 liters of water a day without knowing that I wasn't drinking. You know what I mean? So everything that you're wanting that you're not getting, these are in the way. So Matt, tell me something tell me a symptom of something. It could be physical, non-physical, it could be body pain right now that isn't the way you want it to be. While you're thinking about that, shout out to Chloe. She's saying this is literally what I treat with acupuncture. Acupuncture is all about the meridians. It's absolutely energy. And she's saying our emotions manifest in our bodies. Okay.
Yep. 100%. Well, I was going through some core love stuff, and this guy has some pretty next level stuff. But the way that he kind of framed it, and I'll paraphrase massively, is that it's all about memory. So he had lost his memory, all of it, and had to do these different things to get it back. Same with my friend Julian. And so basically, as we're going through our daily life, we're storing like data, like a hard drive. Let's say we got a terabyte for our life. So we're storing in the body, those memories. And when it's traumatic and we're holding on to it, it actually can manifest as disease because we haven't let it go and it's kind of getting in there. And so similar idea that I've heard lots of different ways. So it's interesting to see a process like this.
Interesting. Don't even let me get you started. Do you know what else is caused by trapped emotions? Pollen, seasonal pollen. People think it's the pollen. Yeah, I've been clearing people's pollen in 9 minutes. Lifelong pollen removal. It has nothing to do with the pollen. This is seasonal allergies. And what happens is there was a time in your life when you had this. I'm pointing at the chart at the word conflict. And whatever was in the air during that conflict, your subconscious mind connected them together and said, when you smell this, have all these negative reactions. So
Mm-hmm.
even if it doesn't, it's not about the pollen, it's about your reaction to the smell of the pollen around conflict. It's
Mm-hmm.
100% trapped emotion related, and it can be cleared via Skype, telephone, or a text message using a magnet. Get rid of your pollen. And once you remove the trapped emotions, they're gone forever.
That's interesting. Well, that's I never thought of seasonal allergies as a trigger. That's simply the trigger.
Oh,
If you're
nobody
a
will.
kid,
I know, it's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, if you're a kid and your dog gets run over by a big red truck, you probably won't like big red trucks for a long time. You might even forget, or it could be that's a pretty obvious one, but that's kind of the same idea that you have this trigger, but it's actually a scent or something in the air that you're going to hold on your whole life without you even being aware of. Because again, I think that maybe the unconscious mind just wants to keep you safe. So it's a conflict. It doesn't like it. So it's like sending a little alert to the body.
Well,
But
everything's stored, right? And sometimes there's a connection, the triggers, right? So that,
mm,
sometimes when I smell coconut, it brings me back to like when I was 20 years old in Mexico. It's like that is a stored file folder that got accessed. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
Matt, back to you.
Okay.
Tell me about something area in your life where the results aren't what you want.
As of recent, in the 3D reality, it would be money. It could be good. Money would be nice if spent a lot.
Okay. So I'm just putting the address in my name below there, so you can see I added my
Oh, I didn't even
URL
know
there.
that was an option. All right.
Yeah.
Good
On the
stuff.
right-hand side where your name is, click on your name, and then it makes it typable. Good. Chloe's having a great chat with me out here. She's talking about traditional Chinese medicine. Allergies can be related to weakened immune system. Very good. And there's actually acupuncture protocols for allergy and trapped emotions. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to remind everybody, I have an emotion code chart here. There's 60 trapped emotions. I have just an everyday household magnet. It's in my hand. I'm going to be muscle testing, and I am hydrated enough. So I'm just going to take another drink. Me being hydrated, what's that?
I think you forgot an N in emotion code in your link there, just so people know. I don't think it's emotio code, although that kind of sounds cool. It's like Italian or something.
Emotio code. Emotio
code. Yes. See, yeah, I think you're gonna crush it in Italy if you go over there like that.
Well, listen, one time I took a cruise with a few buddies and we went through the streets in Sicily where the markets were, and we heard this older Italian couple and they were fighting. Well, we just sat on the bench and watched them. It was like a play, just traditional older couple at the market fighting and yelling. And then they were done. They just went on with their business. It was just like we were at a movie. Okay, we're back to work. So I'm muscle testing right now. I'm going to ask myself questions, right? So right now, am I Michael? I am. Am I hydrated? I am. See, these are yeses. Do I need to drink more water? No, I'm good to go. So right now, with Matt's intended permission, because he's saying yes verbally or what's the intention, I'm just going to wait and connect with Matt. So right now, am I Matt? Good. So right now, am I Matt? Am I Michael? No, I'm not. So I'm going to ask and I'm going to use Matt's voice now. So I'm going to ask my subconscious mind about my blocks to abundantness. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being severe, what is the level of my blocks for abundantness? Is it abundantness in form of money? Let's be clear. So I'm asking my severity of a blocks to abundance of money. Is it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? So it's a 5 out of 10. So now I'm going to say, oh, it's a 5 out of 10. These blocks, which is a 5 out of 10 for me receiving money, what is the percentage that they're on the chart? Is it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90? So 100% of my block of money is stored for negative trapped emotions. This is good news. Okay, can I release them? Yes. Is the first one even, a odd, be even 2? It's failure. So you have a trapped emotion of failure. Do I need to know when? Yes. Was I over 20? No. Was I under 20? 15. Was I under 15? 14, 13, 10, 9, 8, 8. So you were 8, you had an experience, the trapped emotion of failure. Do I need to know more? So now with the magnet, because it left your body and it resides over my head, even though we're distant, and I just removed it. I'll check it. Did I remove the trapped emotion of failure? I did. Is there more? Even a odd, be even 2. Is it helplessness? Is it from the same time, same event? It is. I'm going to release that. Is the next one hopelessness? Is it from the same time, same event? It is, releasing that. Is the next one lack of control? Is it from the same time, same event? It is. Is the next one low self-esteem? Same time, same event? It is. Okay. Okay, we removed a few. So before I started the session, what was the severity of my blocks to abundantness? Was it a 10? And now is it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4? What was it, rather? Was it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? There, I did it backwards. And now is it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2? So we got it to a 2. There's still more trapped emotions. Are the next one, even, A odd, be even, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4? It's panic. Do I need to know more? Yes. Was I over 10? Was I under 10? Was I under 10, 9, 8? Was it 8? Was it from the same event as before? Yes. Releasing more trapped emotions from the event when I was 8, swiping 3 or 4 times. Even, A odd, be even, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, panic. Yeah, Chloe's wanting to know if you're experiencing anything, like if you're having any sensations or heat or tingling, but we're definitely removing. These trapped emotions are the size of a baseball. Go ahead. You're on mute.
Yeah, mute. I get a little bit lightheaded. Like you've done this actually a couple times for me before, which was interesting. It's the same thing. I feel like kind of, relaxed and light.
Okay, I'm still working. Even, A odd, even, A odd, even, A odd, be even, 2, 4, 6, pride, shame, shock. Is it mine, my dad's, my mom's, my grandmother? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 generations grandmother had a shock and it got inherited onto you. So now I swipe 10 times because it's a little bit older. Even, A odd, be even, be odd. Am I done? Did I resolve the trapped emotions that are blocking me from attracting money and becoming abundant? Yes. What is the severity of this problem? 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Am I done? Do I need to do more? No. Good. So that was an example. We took the severity. So your subconscious mind saying, you know what, there was a bunch of crap that happened in the past that's only letting half of what you want because it's at 50%, right? So it's like having a valve on a faucet, You're doing all these things to attract money, but the faucet's too tight. And what's tightening the faucet, because it's stuffed with all of these. So what we did is we removed those. And once they're removed, they're gone. So, and yeah. So
awesome. Well, thanks. Well, I just want to, for some people, most of my audience, this is totally fine. They're just like, oh yeah, cool. For some people, it's a stretch. And I just like to draw correlations to why, it's just linear for me. When you do shamanism or ayahuasca, they're literally, I asked the guy what he's doing and he's like, well, when we remove the spirits, we have to make sure they don't come onto us. So we have, all these different tools and this bit of awareness to make sure that doesn't happen. So there's so much, linear information to, how the energy can be basically transmuted and how one person can actually serve as another, just like with energy healing and things like that. So, I just like to draw that line for people that there's different studies and practices that essentially use a similar technique. So, when you're doing these and you have the magnet, for me, I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Like open up, like do what you got to do because, the other example I was going to share was that, a lot of people, if they have, like sometimes a psychedelic experience or a oneness experience, they can talk about literally being in the perception of someone else. And that's kind of like moving into the all one, we are all one moment type of deal. And what I've heard is that when you really develop, or our next stage of evolution is having almost access to everyone's consciousness, you remain your own being, but you would have like your experiences. I could go into Michael's experiences to help me in my future, or I could go into someone else's experiences. So we work as a unit. And, even in the simplest term, when you're a kid and you're sick and your mother's helping you and she doesn't know what you're really moving through, just even that energy and like, taking it off and just making you feel better. So it's an interesting process to go through. And I can say that when you do that, I just feel light. I feel similar to when someone is either doing Reiki or energy work or something like that. That's what I kind of feel in the body when that happens. So it's an interesting experience.
Yeah. On my Facebook page, if you scroll down back to February, I recorded a live seminar that I did in Victoria where I talked about all the keys to the process. That took about 25 minutes. And then I had 6 people come to the front of the room one at a time. And I stood 2 feet away with them. And I was only looking for people that had chronic pain, neck, back, knees, legs. And they came up one at a time. And within probably 15 eliminations of trapped emotions, everyone got healed. They were either squatting for the first time, raising their arms for the first time, bending over for the first time. It was very dramatic. So all chronic pain is caused by negative trapped emotions, and they're removable. You can say goodbye. Amazing. Yeah, I helped a guy get off sleeping pills. Listen, he had 4 doctors give him prescriptions for sleeping pills for 9 years. I had an emotion coach session with him for 30 minutes. I removed all his trapped emotions that were causing all of that. He sent me a picture to post, him holding the 4 bottles of sleeping pills that he had for 9 years, and he hadn't had one since. And that was like 2 weeks after the session. Completely got rid of and his blood pressure went down because he was on so many other drugs, the sleeping pills. So very helpful. Here's the rule. Wow. If there's something that's not operating properly, it's because there's trapped emotions that are steering the misdirection of the energy.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think what I love about this most personally is that when we first became friends, I would present you with these wild concepts. And usually you would just go, well, I don't know about that. And then, fast forward a bunch of years later, like it's more like on this side, you're basically very practical minded. You're a very practical person. You're very pragmatic. Everything that you write is like NLP, it's based. So this is like a little bit of a stretch, but you're getting results from it. And that's the ultimate test right there. I remember the story you told me about
I'm sure there's a compliment in all of there. Chloe, if you heard a compliment in there, please say yes. I'm not hearing the compliment yet. I'm sure it's coming.
Well, as I say, you're very practical minded. So it's better when someone's practical minded and then they come and they're doing something that's a little bit woo woo. And that's what you would always tell me. But I'm just thinking about that story about you going to, it was either like a dinner party with girls and this guy was all cross-armed and he didn't believe you. Then by the end of it, you had him, crying or whatever.
Bring on the cross arms, okay? I'm not scared of you.
Yeah, that's great. So
yeah, I cried like a baby when I was done and running around the room, jumping up and down like he was at Cirque du Soleil for the first time in his life.
Yeah,
his arms weren't crossed. He was hugging me like a teddy bear when I was done. Thank you.
Yeah,
you know who you are.
Well, it's the results that speak for themselves. So it's interesting. It's just really, really interesting stuff. And I'm actually gonna try to get that guy in the podcast. I'm gonna see if he'll do one with me and talk about his work. And I know you're one of the few main guys like actually sharing the work and doing it. And I think it's awesome. My friend, you crushed this. It was everything I could have hoped for and more. You educated, you facilitated, you handled my Facebook. You're on point as always. Is there anything that you wish that I had asked or you want to talk about before we say goodbye? You got anything else you want to drop on the listeners?
Oh, that's such a loaded question. Well, I'm most excited about my new book and about the emotion code. If you go to my fan page, which is facebook.com, Michael Losier, Losier, Michael Losier Fans, I go live every Friday at 9 o'clock. I'm on episode 197. This Friday, Matt, I'm doing a show for trainers, coaches, and teachers, and I'm going to be showing them some NLP techniques to use accelerated learning techniques. So if you're a coach, trainer, or teacher, I'm going to teach you how to engage your audience within 20 seconds and hold it for the whole seminar. I can do that, right, Matt?
Yeah, he's not kidding. It's some very practical info.
Yeah, Matt's been in my seminars. My goal, I'll have 100% participation in 20 seconds. I'll hold it for the entire seminar, and they'll remember everything they want, and they're going to want a selfie when we're done.
Well, if you're a coach or speaker, you can't ask for more than that. So yeah, definitely check it out. Well, I actually go through some of because you have 197 episodes. So some of them, they're titled very nicely. So I can go into, if I'm doing work for somebody and I want a little brush up, I can kind of play it and use it as a resource. So fantastic work, man. Keep them coming.
Yeah, the titles always say what we are. I learned that technique. My opening sentence is, are you one of those people? And I learned that, I'm about to name drop if I can.
Go for it.
Well, I was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey 4 times on her radio station, and I had my own radio show on her channel. The producer of my show was also produced the Dr. Oz show and Oprah show. And he taught me, he said, people want to know in the first minute whether this show is for them or not. They don't want to be on the line for 20 minutes and find out you're talking about bra sizes or something that only do with men or babies. So opening sentence, are you one of those people that's having this problem? I am. Stay tuned. I'm not. Bye-bye. See you later. So, and my titles do the same thing. No, yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. So take a scan.
Right. Awesome. Well, my friend, it's been a privilege. It's been an honor. I'm super excited. I know that you've sent me. I've read one draft of the book, and I'm excited to see the next draft and go through and use it as another resource for the people that I help and coach and stuff.
Yeah, you have to touch it and feel it.
Did you sign it? Signed it, right?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
You better sign it. I think I have the original one over here. So my dad's.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Well,
okay, Matt, that was fun. And thanks to Chloe and Jason and all the other friends, Andrew and Giovanni. Everybody was keeping us entertained and keeping us busy.
Yeah, my friend. Well, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for your work. I highly recommend everybody check out your freebies, check out your Hang Out with Michael show. It's amazing, super useful, and just appreciate and love you, brother. Thanks for coming on again.
Okay, bud. See you later.
Peace.